Go. Hey guys, it's Ted Bogert. Welcome back to the Ted Show series, which is Heroes Always Welcome. My co-host with the most is Justin King, and he's here today. And our special guest is Jesse Ayres. Right?
You got it.
I
Just like
got
you
it. All
say.
right.
Yeah, you got it,
We
bro.
talked about this before. I had want to pronounce it correctly. This is a show where we talk with veterans, talk about transitioning out of the military into civilian life. Anybody who comes on who's a hero. It also could be our fire department, our law enforcement, anybody who falls into those kinds of categories. But we are veteran centric. So if you know a vet who has a business, or you are a vet who has a business and want to come on or share your nonprofit with us, we would love to hear about it. So, welcome, gentlemen. How are you today?
Doing good. How are you?
Good,
Yeah,
good,
hang in
good.
there, man.
Good. All right, Justin. People who don't know you, tell them a little bit about you.
Sure. My name is Justin King. I'm a realtor in Central Florida, kind of towards the Tampa area. I'm an Army veteran, spent about 4 years in Afghanistan, and after that, spent about 5 years in law enforcement here in Central Florida before I started working for myself in real estate.
Thank you. How about you, Jesse, our special guest? I met Jesse through Lance Price and the guys at We Are SFH. And you just had a golf tournament, which I apologize, I could not make.
Yeah.
And you do all sorts of good things in the world. Welcome, Jesse. So tell them a little bit about you and your background.
Yeah. So this year with the big win, I'm a Navy veteran. All right. So beat Army. But yes, my whole time was out in Coronado. Transitioning out, was quite the efforts. But just like Justin here, when I got out, I went into fire and EMT. So chose the other side of that as well, but same kind of thing, right? You go from one life of service to the next. And, it's been a great ride of meeting veterans along the way, and then, kind of dedicating myself and, to that fight, that mission. So it's been great.
Was going into, you said EMT, first responder work, was that an easier transition, do you think, because there is some sort of semblance of order and structure?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's ultimately, exactly it. I think that whole camaraderie, teamwork thing, you can't shake off, you're back in uniform. There's the structure to it. There's the physical, element. There's the mental side of it. I couldn't see myself. I mean, I tried, trust me, I tried to get the regular 9 to 5. I did whatever I could, and it just didn't line up. So
What was it about that didn't line up? Because I hear that from a lot of veterans. I feel like the responses I've gotten, it felt fake structured. It was somebody telling you to do something and it made no sense according to how you were trained.
Well, now I'll stop you there, because there's plenty of that in the military. All right. There's all kinds of nonsense going on for sure. No, but I just think that there's that unspoken kind of bond or whatnot that you have with fellow veterans. And I think the civilian world, you're at such a high speed or high pace. And then, you get into something and you're working at a restaurant or something, and it's just different, man. It's just a different thing. And knife hands don't really work that well towards managers. And, it's a different, you can't, the language is a different, politically correct and calm demeanor and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I think the veteran side of things are definitely a lot easier.
So when did you leave that and start working with VETSports?
Yeah, so I left when I got out of the Navy, transitioned over to Jacksonville Beach, so North Florida area. That's where I did the fire school and EMT and all that. And now I met VETSports there. I played on other veteran organizations and stuff out in California. But when I first got to Jacksonville, I think it was in 2015, that's when I met VETSports and kind of got connected with all that.
Tell us about VETSports. You just had a golf tournament.
We did. So VETSports started in 2013. Yes. With 3 combat veterans, same concept, right? You get back, you don't know how to transition. All of them like sports. And so they said, hey, how can we get veterans active and rehabilitated and all that through the integration of sports. So we did just have a big veteran golf tournament. It's kind of the first annual here in Florida. We do one every year in DC for the gala that we have each year. But it was great. We had 140 golfers.
Wow.
200 community members rallied together, and of the 300 and change, 100 were veterans.
Wow.
So it was, a significant reach of veterans, and we're talking veterans from 19, 20 years old all the way up to, we had a gentleman who spoke who was 102 years old. So we had quite the range.
That's awesome. And then the point is camaraderie again, right? I mean, obviously you want to raise money, but you want to get my experience, and you guys can speak to this if you don't mind. My experience talking with vets is it's just finding that camaraderie out. So let's say whatever role you're in out in the quote unquote real world, you're hungry for that. You're searching for that. You're searching for that brotherhood, sisterhood kind of approach. And so events like this, I imagine, bring that out. What's been your experience when you talk to vets afterward? What are they saying about the event? And then Justin, I know you do some work too, so I'll get to you in a minute.
Yeah. Several of the events. So the event was called Battle of the Branches. So exactly that. We pinned the element of competition against the jokes and all the stuff that happens anyways. And so we just said, hey, you guys represent your branch, and fight against each other again, whatever. But no, the overwhelming thing. One gentleman said he has not been around that many veterans since boot camp. And so that was cool, right? Just 90 other, veterans in a room was a cool concept. One of the guys, a Vietnam guy, says he hasn't told his story in 50 years, and he got up and spoke.
Wow.
So just hearing that kind of stuff is the fuel that keeps all of these, long hours of volunteer work and all that kind of stuff going. It's like, okay, there is a light here. We are making a difference. And so, that's what keeps me going for sure.
So to piggyback on that, Justin, what do you think is trust the main thing that comes out when you're with a bunch of veterans or active military? There's this immediate trust is what I'm feeling is happening. You automatically are like, all right, I feel good because these people have gone through a similar experience as me.
Yeah, definitely that shared past and that level of camaraderie is a lot easier to attain in a group like that. And something, Jesse, I think is interesting with that. I bet you've had people build a lot of relationships that have come from that have been lasting relationships or networking opportunities or things like that. The veterans who haven't had a chance to tell their story or who haven't seen that are being able to come together, share that, and then build bonds based off of it that are lasting beyond the events that you're doing.
No, that's exactly it. And a prime example of that is a brother of mine, and I can say that now, right? Met him last year at an event and just said, hey, what you do is exactly falls in line with what I'm doing. How can I, bring you along, so to speak, and get you involved? And he was kind of in a place where, he didn't get out of the house much and that kind of thing. And now he's out doing public speaking twice a month, and he's making art and he's doing all this stuff. And so I actually used him as a trophy creator. So instead of giving out the little award, the little mannequins that collect dust and stuff, he actually made the battle. He calls them battle flags.
Jose,
yes, Jose Berlin. So that is that gentleman there has made leaps and bounds, and my goodness, has it been amazing to be, his brother and partner and throughout this. So I actually have an example of one of the trophies here.
Yeah, isn't that amazing?
My screen's not going to let me do it.
It's blurry.
Oh my goodness.
It's a blur, but it's all right.
Good. All right, Ted, I'll have to send you a picture and you can post it and stuff, but I'll send you a picture. But so he created the wood art, the battle flags, and those were what we gave out to each branch. And it's once again just a lasting, art form instead of a little trophy. Trying to get veterans involved in every capacity of this ride.
His story is amazing. I've had him on the show a few times.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
I actually own one. He created one for me one of the
Oh, okay.
flags. I just thought that was such a beautiful gift.
Yes,
Jose's a phenomenal human being, but
he
like
is.
others, and I want to ask you, um, to a veteran who's out there struggling, maybe trying to figure out, all right, I'm in that 9 to 5 job, or I'm in a career that I'm not happy with, and I want to figure out how to build that camaraderie again, or get into something that will be fulfilling to me. What kind of advice would you give them? Is there any pointers or things that you think that they should do to kind of get out of that and into moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think ultimately, I struggled with it too, is like that sense of purpose, right? So like it made sense when you felt like you were doing the right thing and you were in and everything was great, right? So then you get out and you're like, all right, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I don't have to make my bed. No one's yelling at me, like that kind of thing, right? Your mom and dad are gone. Like, what do you do? And so going into the business side of stuff like that, I think being passionate about something's first and foremost, right? You got to want to do it. And then the other thing is like to actually, give it a go. You got to try. Get out. Maybe you may struggle that day or whatnot, but that's the day that you have to go out and do something. So I think just taking steps, even if they're small.
That's great. What about you, Justin? What advice would you have?
Yeah, completely agree with all that. I'd add into it also kind of finding your support system or your team. I think that's really, really big. Being out closer to Tampa, there's a lot of organizations around my area, with McDill being right here and there being a lot of active duty. You do have a lot of military and veteran-centric organizations, coffee groups, things like that. So just get together. Some of them are social, some of them are business-focused, but you can find those kind of things where you can kind of get together with like-minded people and just kind of talk veteran issues, talk veteran things, and just, like I said, have those conversations. And that can be really good to provide you some motivation to get going with what you're trying to do. But it can also just be good as a social sphere to get around people that are like you.
Great. I think one of the other challenges vets have is when they're trying to get involved in an organization that might seem appealing to them or seems like it's a good thing, is vetting them. We just recently had something happen in Orlando where a bunch of us were going to do something with a veteran organization or veteran-led organization, and the vetting process, we all went through flying colors, and then there ended up being an issue. So I think vets obviously getting out in the quote unquote civilian world, there's already that hesitancy, and there's that a little bit of you're doing good work in the veteran world. Show me how. And so it's super important to vet, like get with other veterans or get with other people and find out if that organization really does the things that it does, because there's so many out there. I have one particular guy that continues to follow me, continues to want me to do something with his veteran program, and I vetted it. See how many times you can use the word vet in one sentence. Vetted it, and absolutely not. He's been in the paper for defrauding veterans. He's been reported. And so just a little research I was able to do just from Googling him made me realize that I have to be very careful. So we all have to be careful. That's why you want to get with people like Justin and Jesse, who have the mindset of helping veterans and wanting to figure out ways to give back to the community and be inclusive with the veteran family. So Jesse, I've always asked a personal question before we wrap up. When I say the word hero, since this is a hero show, who is the first person who comes to mind for you?
Oh man. I mean, I would have to say it would probably be a combo thing with my grandfather and my father, who both were veterans, but not even besides that. So it didn't really make sense to me until I became a father and went through the same things, right? So it was just how we were raised, right? It didn't make sense then, but it makes sense now, and my son's going to feel the same thing. So I just think that passing on a legacy of pride and responsibility and just like how to carry yourself, that type of thing. And I think, a hero does not have to be necessarily a veteran, but can really be anybody that's willing to make a difference. And I think that ultimately is, heroes are found everywhere, and you can be someone's hero by having this show. Justin can sell a house to somebody and they could be their hero. He could be their hero because he found ways to make them, have a home, and they couldn't have a home before. So, I think ultimately anybody can do that.
Agreed. All right, Justin, share with them the best way they can reach out to you if they want to learn more about real estate or everything that you're doing.
Sure. I've got a website. I actually run a real estate team. My website is cortlandgroup.com. It's scrolling across there at the bottom. And then my personal Instagram is probably the easiest way, even though I'm not super active. It's jking_adventures.
Awesome. Thank you. And Jesse, what's the best way they can reach out to you, find out more about you?
Yeah. So same thing at the bottom there. You do a great job of offering that. The VETSports.org, right? So that's just the basic website. We have chapters all around the country, 2 overseas. So if you're a veteran or have a family and member anywhere, there's a chapter somewhere for you. And then obviously I think I have the same thing as Justin, probably some sort of social media. Whenever my wife tells me to put something on there. So, but yeah, that's the other thing. Veterans aren't very good marketers. Well, I'm not, at least. So it's. But yeah, those are the ways for sure.
That's another reason why we offer the show. If you just want to share your business on the show, this is all about promoting heroes, promoting veterans and like-minded heroes like that. So please reach out to me or to Justin, because we'd love to have you on the show. A lot of times you're right, the marketing is a challenge. And so if you can come on and share about your nonprofit or your business or what you're working on, we'd love to have you. All right, Jesse, thank you so much go ahead.
Oh, I just want to interject. So as far as the marketing side and getting out and doing things, so I found a lot of the stuff on the sports side of stuff is you never know where a veteran's going to be. So, you know what I mean? So when I go out to these golf tournaments, these softball or baseball fields and all this other stuff, that those are where I wear the hat or something, right? Veterans you look at each other and you're like, oh, that guy's disgruntled or something. He's a vet. But, anyways, you make those connections, and I found that the meetings, not every veteran's picking up the phone and calling the VA, or they're not always going to the clinics or not always going to their appointments or whatever it may be, but they find you with a smile on your face or something or rather out and about in the community, and then they open up in that regard. And then to Justin's point, that's how you make these lasting friendships. So I think you getting out and putting out that positive energy attracts other veterans to want to do the same thing.
Amen to that. All right. I appreciate you both so much. Jesse, thank you. Justin.
Absolutely. Thank you both.
Thank you. Thank you for your service. You all reach out to us. We'd love to have you on the show. Reach out to either of these guys. I know they'll put you with the right people if you need resources or have questions. All right, gentlemen, thank you so much. We'll be back next time on Heroes Always Welcome.